Oh, I'm going to dig right down in here. I tell you what, I feel our first sweet potato Guten Yardening, everybody. Well, it's been just over 120 days since we planted our first ever indoor sweet potatoes from slips that we harvested from last fall's crop. We brought them indoors and we put them in our GreenStalk vertical garden. Now, this sweet potato experiment marks two firsts for us. It's our first time trying to grow sweet potatoes indoors and our first time trying to grow them vertically. And I think there's a lot of learning that we needed to do along the way. So I have no idea how this experiment's going to turn out. We just have to get into this harvest and see. And based on the results that we see here, I've got some speculation that I can lay out there. But I'm really excited to get in here and see just how well these did over the past 4 months. So let's get started with our first ever indoor sweet potato harvest. All right, as I'm getting in here, you're going to notice there's some spinach that we planted up top here as well. But this is all kind of dried back here. We do still have some decent amount of green in here, especially here on the second tier, for example. We've got a pretty good amount of green left in here. But one of the things that we noticed, and you can see this quite frequently actually, we noticed that a lot of the leaves died back and dried back as this was growing. And I think part of the problem we had, you can see it right there, part of the problem we had was that initially this Mars Hydro light was actually too low. I think it was about 3 or 4 inches lower, and I think that was creating a problem for us. I think our light was too low. But we did have quite a bit of light surrounding this, but even so, I'm not 100% sure that we did a great job at getting effective lighting the whole way around. And so, you know, what does that mean for our development? We will soon find out. And the first thing I'm going to do is take this apart from top all the way down to bottom, and we're going to start harvesting the bottom first. All right, this is our bottom layer here, so we're going to see how well this did. I'm just going to pop this upside down, and we'll see what we've got. Now, typically during a harvest, this is like the most exciting moment, the very first turnover, to get an idea of what we might have. Again, this is an experiment. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm sitting here hoping that we've got some sweet potatoes underneath. Let's do the reveal right now. Well, first of all, I see plenty of roots. So we have the capacity to grow roots, but we want to see if any of those roots amounted to any actual sweet potatoes. We got a couple of our worms in here that we placed in here with the goal being to really help the soil. Oh, there we go. Well, we got the beginnings of a singular sweet potato here. Tiny little sweet potato here. And we'll go over to the third one. This looks like if things hold like this is going to be a pretty quick harvest. All right, so again, here we go. The potential for a sweet potato, but no real development after 4 months. Now, it's possible the rest of these are going to be exactly like this with minimal development. And if that's the case, we got to figure out exactly why that happened with this indoor set. All right, here we go with our second lowest tier. And I want to point something out about this mix, because typically indoors we have our own potting mix that we grow with. And we did not use our potting mix this time around. We used some inexpensive soil. It was discounted soil. And I just don't think that soil was good enough either for what we were trying to do. And I don't think we fed it enough either, not realizing just all the needs of that soil. So let's pull this out and take a look. Yeah, I'm seeing the exact same thing. You see the beginnings. I mean, after 120 days, this is not what we would expect to be coming out of here. These should be fully developed. I think there are a couple of things here. I think one, the soil. I also think that, you know, like I said earlier, this green was not here. A lot of it got burned off, and so I think there wasn't enough of that green foliage to take in the light to really help these bulk up and develop. And this is tier 3. Again, you can see some decent greens here. It's still growing for sure, but there's just so much that seems to have gone not the way we wanted to, with these plants from beginning to end. And I think it really just didn't get off to the start that we wanted. You know, for this one, what I'm going to do, instead of emptying it out, I'm going to dig right down in here. I tell you what, I feel our first sweet potato for sure. I'm going to pull it up just like this. It's not big, but what does this prove? It proves the potential for growing sweet potatoes in here. You know what? I am going to empty this one. It's a different variety of sweet potato, which seems to have done better. So I'm not going to just dig down in here because I feel another sweet potato. That is more like it. You can see the sweet potato right there. That's better. Well, so far, this is the first one where we've actually seen the formation of sweet potatoes. So that's not too shabby. That variety at least gave us, yep, here we go, a couple, even if they're small. Any result here now is proof that we can grow sweet potatoes. We just have to do a better job with the soil. We have to do a better job with fertilization and definitely with the lighting here. All right, this is our second highest tier. So second from the top, lots and lots of roots, but not lots and lots of sweet potatoes. All right, our top layer, I'm not going to get any more growth, I think, out of this spinach. So we're just going to go for it and see what's underneath. Oh, there we go. There's a little sweet potato. Not a big one, but we'll take it. And it looks like, again, the development, not excessive. No excessive development, but we did get off of this one. Oh, this is our third one here. Yeah, same basic thing here. A couple of small ones. So really, with better soil, that's one piece of it. With better lighting, that's another piece of it. And I think just in general, we can do a much better job than this. But we've got our answer to the question, can we grow sweet potatoes inside? Well, so far, it's been a challenge, but it's a definite possibility. Well, from a purely logistic standpoint, this is not a successful harvest in terms of the overall size and quantity. And you might say it's pretty disappointing. We'd love to have 10 times this much. But if we think about it in the broader scope, we've proven that you can definitely grow sweet potatoes indoors. We just have to do a better job all around, and that is something I'm confident we can do. Now, we are going to be doing a whole bunch more GreenStalk content coming up, and we're going to be growing sweet potatoes outdoors in our GreenStalk, and I am confident we're going to get a massively better harvest at that time, so you've got to stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.